Welcome to the first episode of The Lamp, which will be our weekly talk show about things that are going on in the community. I'm Pat Munsey, publisher of the Kokomo Lantern. With me is my partner, Ed Faunce.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, better than average, because I'm sitting in a warm room on a winter day talking about economic development in my community, which is pretty exciting. So the top story, I think, for this week is the announcement on Monday that Haynes International has been purchased or acquired by a large stainless steel manufacturer known as Acerinox. They are based out of Madrid, Spain.
Wow, so it's an international company.
It is an international company. They specialize in stainless steel products, which is a little ironic since Haynes International is the company that holds the patent for stainless steel, thanks to Elwood Haynes.
Yes.
So that's a rather important acquisition for a company like Acerinox because they now actually hold that patent for as long as it lasts. I don't know if it's like copyrights where they go out after 75 years or how those work exactly. That's something.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they do on those particular manufacturing processes, but yeah, it's the history of Kokomo in one place. Or if you think about the history of manufacturing, starting with not only the car companies like Haynes and the Aberson brothers, but the idea of stellite, his basic. One of his first discoveries. He essentially was a metallurgist, so
yes.
that was a big thing for him. So yeah,
the combustion engine was kind of like a side project that he worked on in his kitchen, much to the chagrin of his wife, as I understand it historically.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's responsible for stainless steel, for stellite, which is a high temperature resistant metal, and then dierolite, which I don't believe is manufactured anymore, but was a gold colored. Metal that was used in place settings. So if you go to the Howard County Historical Museum, at least you used to be able to go into the dining room and they would have the place settings with the dierolite silverware. Maybe, well, it wouldn't be silverware then, would it?
No, yeah, and Haynes Museum has got some collections of it too. I think I think a guy that was working for Haynes kind of took his ideas and then turned it into dierolite. But yeah, I remember. In fact, my stepmother worked at the old dierolite factory, which is on Main Street. Which is now I forget what it is now. I believe so. Yeah. It's pretty close.
Right over there next to the credit union, just south of Markland.
I was reading the article in the Kokomo Lantern, by the way, and it was talking about how essentially they're raising funds. So is this just a bid, or is this
No, it's a full acquisition, and in fact, it's a cash transaction, all cash transaction.
Okay.
The company will be purchasing all outstanding shares of Haynes International stock, which is traded on NASDAQ. The purchase price is going to be $61 a share. Once they complete the purchase of all that, they will fold Haynes into the company as a subsidiary, which means it'll be delisted and you won't be able to trade Haynes International stock anymore.
Okay.
But if you're holding stock, you're going to get a payout as part of this acquisition. But they think that the total purchase price between stock and assuming outside debts and things like that is just short of $1 billion.
$1 billion? Wow.
$970 million, I think, was the quoted total price on the acquisition, and done it in cash, which is interesting.
Yeah. You don't walk around with that kind of money.
No.
In this day and age. Well, maybe you do, because there are quite a few billionaires. So.
Sure. So I think this company has 11 different manufacturing plants across Europe and the United States. The closest one to us would be Steelworks in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
The important thing that everybody will want to know about this is what happens to Haynes and Kokomo after this purchase. The nice thing is the CEO of Haynes had a statement right there in the release saying that not only is Haynes going to stay in Kokomo, but the new company is investing as much as $200 million in the U.S. operations over the next 4 years, and they believe the majority of that, almost $170 million of it, will go into Kokomo operations, which I'm assuming will upgrade manufacturing equipment on the inside. Who knows? Maybe build out some new areas for some new product.
Right.
There's one thing I hope they do spend money on, though, and that is the Deffenbaugh Bridge.
Yes, that was one of the things that I was thinking about too, because that stretch of Deffenbaugh definitely has some interesting things going on over there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always something with that particular area.
I spoke to the Howard County Street Superintendent a few weeks ago. She has authority over all bridges in the county because of the way the state law is set up.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had done an evaluation of that bridge, and it's not a bridge over water. This is a bridge. It's an overpass, really. There's a road underneath
Right.
Deffenbaugh that
It's on the facility, yes, isn't
connects the north and south
The
plants.
Haynes
It's important to Haynes. They want to have that, and apparently that bridge is Haynes's responsibility. So Haynes is going to need to come up with some money because that bridge is no longer considered safe. It doesn't mean that they're going to close it off and you can't drive across it.
Right.
but,
Because I go over that bridge pretty much every day.
Right. Now, if
Yeah.
it was that unsafe, they would have closed it a long time ago. But no,
Yeah.
you can still have regular traffic over it. But if you are carrying large loads, semi-trailers are probably advised not to run across that. I don't believe that the city's trash trucks go across that bridge anymore after learning of the condition of the bridge's infrastructure. So I'm not saying any of this to scare anyone. We're not in imminent danger of a collapse. However, if some of that money from the Haynes acquisition was invested into shoring up that bridge, I'm sure the
Right.
entire community would appreciate
That's
that.
something that's going to have to be dealt with at some point
One
in
way or
time.
the other, and Haynes will have to spend some money on it, according to the
Right.
the superintendent. So that's something to think about. That's one of the things going on this week. There are several other developments in economic development in Kokomo that's of note.
Okay.
Recently, Borg Warner,
Yes,
manufacturer up on the north
Borg
east
Warner.
corner, announced layoffs.
Was formerly Delphi, and I would believe was purchased 2 years ago, was it? It was about 2 years ago for somewhere in the neighborhood of several billion. I mean, yeah, that's something I always think about, since I'm a former Delphi retiree, or actually GM retiree.
How much money are you using on acquisitions and not on pensions?
Well, since this is an opinion show, right? So,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
very
yeah.
good. Well,
we should state up front, yeah.
Well-
We're going to be telling you things that we've heard that perhaps we haven't printed, and express opinions
yeah,
within reason.
because we've got them. We've got lots of them.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
we've got lots of them.
but on the Borg Warner thing, we've got a lot of workers that are going to be out of jobs or are out of jobs now.
Yes, as of, I think last October, they came in and told the 300 that were working there now. There were more than 300 people there at the time, but they let 300 people go. They gave maybe 10 or 15 of them chances to transfer to Borg Warner plants in either Noblesville, or there was a couple in Ohio. So engineering-wise, I think they're going to absorb most of the engineering staff at the tech center that's in Noblesville. But yeah, a lot of people, and they knew it's always a thing, the gossip is always, well, they're going to close. Well, the day that it happens, it does take you aback. So,
Now, fortunately, Borg Warner and Work One of Indiana are coming together to provide a
Yes.
job fair.
As they should,
A
yes.
relocation forum, I guess is what you would call
Right.
it. That'll be on February 29th, and it will be at Borg Warner. And Work One is currently looking for businesses that are willing to come in and participate in that. So if you're looking for workers, this is a good opportunity to tap into as many as 300 skilled manufacturing workers. But if you're one of those businesses and you want a booth at this job fair, you need to call 765-476-9359. That will get you hooked up with the organizer of that event. Yeah, I mean, 300 people ready to work today. That's a rare thing to have in the community.
Right.
We've been very blessed over the last decade, let's say, with increasing investment and, well, especially since the pandemic, a very small labor force comparatively to the
Right.
demand that we have for jobs. Now, not all of those jobs are high-profile, great-paying jobs. A lot of the jobs that you would have trouble making a living on are obviously still open because people are working from home now since the pandemic, or they went out and they got themselves an education through a trade school or a university, and
Right.
they tried to improve themselves. All the things that we've been told for generations that you should do with your life to make your life better, well, over the last few years, at least the younger generations have done that. So there aren't as many people coming in at entry level and there aren't as many people working entry-level jobs as a career.
Right, yeah. I do remember the time, though, when toward the first part of the 2000s, where a lot of folks were looking at fast food as a career.
Right.
And things have definitely changed in the service industries and things like that over the years. And we still have a little bit of a labor force shortage here in Kokomo. And I always say a little bit because I'm trying to downplay it.
Well, it's going to only get larger because everyone sees what's happening on the north side of town, where we've got now 2 battery plants and at least 2 supporting companies that are coming in. So we're talking about a few thousand jobs just for that investment. And every indication that I've gotten from City Hall and from development specialists over the last year is the announcements for supporting businesses and additional investments, they're not over. That this is going to continue for the foreseeable future. So we have a lot of quick adjustments as a community that we need to make. Over the past year, the Chamber of Commerce held some integration type events where you would get to learn about Korean lifestyle, Korean culture, Korean business behaviors.
Yes.
They were very informative. I thought the
Korean
Chamber
food.
did a great job. Yeah, we had some
Korean food, yes, we did.
And we're going to have several Korean restaurants. As we reported in the Lantern.
Six, I believe, that the mayor talked about the other day.
Yeah, one of which is just on the cusp of opening on Main Street, right across from the courthouse.
Yeah, they might have had a soft opening. I'm not sure.
I've actually went to a private dining event there a few weeks ago, and the food was quite good. If you like Korean food, it was fantastic. If you just like food in general, you'll find something that you'll enjoy there. Not to hype up any particular business, but if you haven't tried Korean cuisine, you might give it a try. You might find out that you like it,
right?
Or you might hate it.
I love it.
Your own.
I love it.
But it is going to be a part of Kokomo's culture for the foreseeable future.
Right.
We don't know how many Koreans will be relocating here, whether it'll be short-term or long-term for them. The indication seems to be that most of the employees that will be coming from overseas will be here for 1 or 2 years at a time. There will still be plenty of jobs for Kokomo residents and those in the surrounding communities, probably more than we could realistically fill with quality workers.
Right.
So I don't think we have to worry about them taking our jobs that haven't arrived yet.
No. Unless you're like us and you got 2 or 3 jobs, yeah.
Well, sure. I think I could probably fit in, maybe some electrolyte manufacturing or something.
Yeah, I think I could too. You know what amazes me, and is one of the sessions on food, and I hate going back to that, but as you can see, and I enjoy food a little bit, and that might segue into our next segment. I'm not sure.
We can do that, absolutely.
Okay, but they showed us these corn dogs, and I'll have a picture of the corn dog up, by the way, and I'll talk under it here. This will be part of the magic of digital
Podcasting?
entertainment.
Sure.
Yes.
So much magic.
But they have these little corn dogs, and they decorate them up with, they actually have some of them that have kernels of corn on them. They've got, some of them have, looks like to me, candy. I'm like, ooh, candy and corn dog?
There's a hot dog in the middle of it.
Right, yes. They're miniature, and there's a hot dog in the middle of it.
Those are Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
Used to get those in a little can.
These are a little larger than that, but they're dipped in batter, and it's very popular in Korea, from what I understand. So
They have a lot of different foods. They've got a type of chip that I tried at one of those integration events.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yes.
It's a sweet corn flavored chip. There's an Asian market over on Elizabeth Street and Boulevard that sells them. I've gone in and got a couple of bags. There you go, another free plug. We're just going to plug businesses for free all day long on here.
And if you are interested in us actually putting together something for you, if you have a business, let's say like the Asian market, who I've talked with people here at Inventrek about the person who owns the Asian market, has one in Fort Wayne, but she also is a recent member of the Greater Kokomo Chamber of Commerce. And they have some really, really interesting things at the Asian market. Like you said, it's on Elizabeth Street and Boulevard, right across from the
Schwinn Bicycle.
Right, yes. Some interesting stuff. I found this stuff. You talk about Korea, it's the second most popular drink in Korea. It's called Chilsung cider. Remember that, Chilsung cider. You'll see a picture of that too. Chilsung cider, it's really, it's kind of like 7-Up with a little bit more sugar. So it's...
Where's the cider come in?
I have no idea. So, but it's literally, it's delicious.
Okay.
And we'll bring some of that here on the lamp here before long.
Oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to sit here and test products and tell you how great they are. That's not
No,
our show.
I'm going to test products and then afterward tell you how great they are. So,
Oh,
but anyway,
well.
go ahead. So let's segue into our next segment.
Talking about food.
Yes.
I thought you were going to tell them, hey, if you want to advertise in the Kokomo Lantern, all you have to do is give us a call at 765-210-3442, or you can email us at kokomolantern@gmail.com. We'll get you out a rate card. We'll talk about options that will fit your business, whether it's podcast or print advertising.
Right.
We'll find a solution for you. But
Certainly.
the other segue was food, and so it seems that chicken just belongs at Markland and 931, according to developers.
Right there, right here.
We've got the chicken triangle going here. We got the what is it? Popeyes. Popeyes.
Yes,
It's been here for
Popeyes.
more than a year now.
Also delicious.
Popeyes is all right. I like it. Yeah, and then you got Cane's, which I tried for the first
Which
time
we did.
today, and
Yeah.
and it was chicken.
And so
it was
how-
chicken. Yeah.
How did you like the special sauce? The sauces.
The sauce? Yeah, it's A1 and something, but yeah, it's.
Also, we would welcome A1 as a sponsor, but
Oh, sure.
yeah.
It tastes like
or
it tastes like creamy steak sauce to me. It's fine. Everyone has to have their signature flavor, I suppose.
Yeah.
And Cane's location isn't really a problem, I don't think. That northwest corner seems to be accessible from 931
Right.
and from Markland pretty easily. The access road that they put in along Markland and adding those turn lanes going into the Markland Mall is wonderful. So now traffic moves a lot better through that section. So I'm not really worried about Cane's at all. And
Right.
their chicken's probably good enough that they'll live. I mean, they're a franchise, right? So they've got something figured out. And the menu is pretty simple. So you know exactly what you're going to get every time. And there are a lot of people that love that variety. And let's be honest, when you go to a restaurant, after you've gone to the restaurant 4 or 5 times, are you really looking at the menu, or are you looking at the 1 or 2 things you've had that you really liked? And you fall into
Yeah.
that. And every once in a while, you might stray off that menu, but you're going to go back to that 1 or 2 meals that you associate with that restaurant. So with Cane's, they've just kind of taken all that guesswork out, and it's chicken. You're
Right.
going to have chicken, and some more chicken. Maybe some fries, a piece of, that was Texas toast, I'm told,
Yes.
and some slaw. And, yeah.
How was the slaw? I don't like slaw, so you
It was slaw.
you have
I
to
mean-
give the slaw judgment.
I've never had my life changed by coleslaw. Not that
I almost did, but I'm not going to tell you that story.
Not that I've even tried.
Yeah.
But this is not life-changing coleslaw, nor is it life-changing chicken. You want bread and chicken, you got it, and
Yeah.
that'll be fine.
I love everything I ate at Cane's. In fact, I'll take some free stuff if you ever want to drop some off.
All right, so I'm not the best ad salesman when it comes to chicken, apparently, because Chick-fil-A, hey, I know people that drive miles and hours to get Chick-fil-A. I've never understood that. It's good chicken, and I like their chicken sandwich, and the waffle fries are fun to eat, even though they're just fries, Yeah, I mean, they'll be a welcome addition, I'm sure. They'll have lines.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the underlying complaints.
There's a real problem with this.
the underlying
That's right.
complaints.
You got me talking about food, the one thing I didn't want to do. Okay,
Right.
yes. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a real problem.
Let's talk
with
about
this.
the underlying of that particular geography within the Markland US 931 corridor there, if you
Right.
want to call it a corridor. You've got basically coming from 31, feeding right straight in down Markland from the overpass. You've got pretty much that's every if there's an intersection in town that everybody shows up at, usually at least once a week, that's it.
Right. And now you're going to have a Chick-fil-A right there in the mix.
Right.
Right there in front of Hobby Lobby, which, on paper, I'm sure it looks like a magnificent place. Like, who wouldn't want to be at the center of traffic in a community? Except for that parking lot, and everyone knows. I mean, whether you shopped at A&P when you
Years
back in
ago,
the
yeah,
70s,
I
or
remember
you
A&P,
shopped
yeah.
at Kmart clear through the 90s.
Yeah.
The old Pizza Den. I mean, there were all kinds of businesses that sat in there, and the interesting thing is none of them are there today.
Right. Hobby Lobby is holdout,
Hobby
but that's a unique
Yeah,
business.
if you were a destination store like Hobby Lobby, you can
Right.
survive that kind of thing.
Right.
But what killed all these businesses wasn't that they were bad businesses, it's that nobody wanted to get to them in that plaza.
Right.
You can get in just fine. It's a roach motel. You just can't get out.
Just can't get out.
I mean, unless you want to go north on 931 or you want to go east on Markland Avenue, don't even try it.
Right.
And if you thought that was tough when you were going to Staples, you were going to Hobby Lobby or going to get your hair done,
Right.
It will be so much worse now that we're going to increase traffic into that plaza by a factor of 100. Everybody in town.
Which also will affect traffic all the way from Sam's Club through Walmart, because you've got everything feeding into there, and there's two lights right there. By the time you get to Dare Chapel, you're pretty well, you're tired of driving, you think. Yeah, you're just tired of driving. You just park it and
there's really no
go to
fix
Championship
it.
Park, yes.
There's no fix to it because the state's not going to allow new cuts into that parking lot on
Right.
US 31 or Markland, especially not Markland. I mean, you've got, 3 cuts within 200 feet of each other right there on Markland. It's a madhouse without Chick-fil-A. So I can't imagine how they will address or fix this problem. My guess is they won't. So if you want your Chick-fil-A, it's going to be a battle every time. Will that suppress their sales? I don't think it will.
No.
If you're willing to drive an hour or more to go get this chicken sandwich, you're going to sit in line for 10 or 15 minutes to get out of that parking lot when you're
Right.
done. I understand dedication to food. I got it.
Right.
The other issue involved in this is this misconception and this misinformation that got spread around before the plan was ever in place, that somehow Chick-fil-A wanted to open up that parking lot into the Cedar Crest subdivision, Belvedere, Imperial, or both, and use that as traffic flow in and out of the parking lot. Now, I don't know where it came from. I've seen the only official document from the city, and it has no indication that they were going to be anywhere near the Cedar Crest property line, that they're going to be in the northwest corner of that parking lot. But it had residents worked up enough that they came out in force at the last Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, and they are going to be back at the Plan Commission meeting.
Right.
I think we have zoning appeals this week, and we'll have the Plan Commission next week.
Today, as of taping, you're going to the zoning
I'll be
appeals.
at the zoning appeals tonight. Yeah.
Later tonight. Yeah.
But next Tuesday, I believe, is when the next show for Chick-fil-A will show up. You know, they'll be going for Plan Commission with the recommendations from the Board of Zoning Appeals from last month.
Right.
None of which had anything to do with opening that parking lot up. It had to do with the size of Chick-fil-A signs, the number of signs they could have, the positioning of the store so that the drive-through window could actually face 931, because in our local planning laws, you can't have a drive-through window face your traffic. It has to be as invisible as possible. It also says that you should have the majority of your parking behind your business out of view from the street, which is the number one most appealed law in our books.
Really?
Every month, you're going to have someone asking for a variance at the Board of Zoning Appeals, specifically for, I don't want all the parking in back.
Right.
I'm a convenience store. I've got 2 major thoroughfares. I'm on a corner. I can't get them all back behind the building. And every time, there's a variance. And I've talked to Greg Sheeline, the Plan Commission Director, and he says, yep, this is an issue that the Plan Commission needs to review, needs to take a look at that part of the plan and revise it or remove it. But it were things like that. It was small procedural things that they were going before the Board of Zoning Appeals. They didn't need to change the overall zoning. It's already zoned for a restaurant. It was just the way they wanted to set it. And the way they've got it set up, there are natural barriers to the south that would discourage people from even thinking that there's a way out to the south in that parking lot.
Now, we had the article in the Kokomo Lantern, by the way, which had the layout and where it was going to sit on the. And by the way, those of you that are listening to us here, you're listening to us courtesy of the Kokomo Lantern. The Kokomo Lantern is what we consider the premier online publication in Howard County for news.
Yes.
And sports, and also
Features
these and these little podcasts are something that to tweak your interest and get more information out. This is
And it's how I eat.
it's how we eat.
That's how I eat. So
Right.
if you want me to eat, read. Read our paper.
I want Pat to grow up big and strong like me. So, anyway, but at this point in time, subscriptions are free.
Yes.
We do accept donations, of course,
Well,
but
I mean, there is
sponsors too. We have wonderful sponsors, which if we could sit down and mention all of them, but it would take us a while. But you'll hear of them as we continue on in this little journey.
Absolutely.
The camera, I think we've got another minute or two. So let's wrap up what we've just kind of went through, if you
All
can.
right,
Okay.
so a lot of economic development. We've got Haynes being acquired. We've got the
Big
battery
news.
plant up and going. We got Borg Warner that's looking to replace workers into the job market here with your opportunity to employ them. So that's a generally good thing. We've
Don't
got,
forget that. Yeah, work one. Yes.
Yeah, work one, absolutely. And then we got chicken. We got chicken in the middle of the city, and it's going to be hard to get to the Chick-fil-A.
Lots of chicken.
Yep. And if you want to have a say in how that turns out, the Plan Commission next week at 5 o'clock at City Hall is probably where you need to be.
That's right.
At the very least, just bring popcorn, because sometimes those get entertaining.
Yeah. That's taken the America's Got Talent completely way off of my spectrum. I just go to the city county council meetings. Yes.
And definitely don't wear heavy clothing, because if the place fills up, it gets warm really quick.
Yeah. So, Pat.
No more segues. No more segues. We're done.
We've talked about a lot of stuff, and we will talk about more stuff the next time we see you.
Next week.
That's right.
Every Thursday, we'll drop a new episode.
That's right. And we are enjoying this. If you have some comments, there's comments here on YouTube. There's comments in the Lantern itself.
Basically, wherever you're watching this right now, you can tell us just how bad we stink.
That's
or
right.
how much you liked it. I'll believe the first one.
I took a shower, though.
Okay, I'll believe the second one.
Okay. Remember us. We are the lamp.
Yeah, brought to you by the Kokomo Lantern. It's Kokomo and Howard County's premier source for news, sports, and entertainment online, coming to your inbox every morning if you just subscribe at www.kokomolantern.substack.com.